This here is the t-shirt I was arrested for. Bestial masturbation on the front, with this rather nice statement on the back. Now I can show it to you here because this is private property. However, as soon as I walk out those doors and onto the public freeway, I will be committing an offence. I'd come out from the Devil's Church. I said goodbye to Mike and the other regulars that I knew down there. I was in a rush to make my last tube home. It was Sunday, so it was Sunday hours for the tube. It was 11:45 at night. I had to be on Earls Court by 12:30 to make my last train, so I was in a bit of a rush to get home. I was hurrying down Shaftesbury Avenue to make my way to the tube when these 4 or 5 policemen crossed over the road and were visibly approaching me, and one of them was going like this, gesturing towards me. So I went up and I asked, what's the problem, what's the matter? And one of them behind, he didn't answer straight out. One of them behind said to me, he said, we can do you for them wristbands, like that, you can't wear that. Another one said, you can't walk around looking like that. Another one said to me straight afterwards, said, is that bare breasts you've got on that t-shirt? You can't wear that, that's an offence, that is. To which I responded, I said, oh, well, I'll cover them up. And I put my arm across the breasts at that moment. Then one of them said, what have you got written on the back of your shirt? And I thought, oh dear, they're not going to like this. So they asked me to turn around. I had no option but to turn around. One of them said, I have to tell you, you're wearing an illegal t-shirt. I said, well, how is this an illegal t-shirt? I've bought it, it's not been stolen. I said, how is this illegal? He said, wearing that t-shirt is an offence. I said, well, other people that I've seen wear it. Lots of other people I've seen have worn this. He said, well, I'm telling you, that's an offence, now take it off now. Now, as you can see, the way I'm dressed at the moment, I've got wristbands up and down my arms. It would have meant undoing about 10, 12 straps to even be able to free up the arms to be able to take the thing off anyway, physically. I said, well, if it's an offence, I'll cover up the word. So I then put my arm across the back, covered up the word, had an arm across the front, covered up the word on the front, and went to walk off. As soon as I did that, one of them said, oi, stop right there, come back here. And, they were quite threatening about it. And one of them said, I'm arresting you. I said, what's the charge? He says, I don't know yet, but we'll find out as soon as we get back to the station. The van was there like that straight away. In the police station, I said I was agreeable to take the shirt off and turn it inside out and leave of my own accord. But that wasn't an option, because as soon as I took the wristbands off and took the shirt off, the arresting officer grabbed the shirt out of my hands and said, right, I'm having that as evidence. And they said, we're arresting you for profanity under the 1839 profanity law. I wasn't imprisoned, but they did try and add on an extra charge, which was displaying threatening and abusive language, which might or could make persons in the vicinity feel threatened for their own safety, which had a maximum penalty of 6 months in prison. They were having a good go at it, put it that way. They were having a good go. Fortunately, that charge did get thrown out, but the profanity one stuck, and I was fined £90. Well, I contacted Vampirotica first of all. I went to their store, their stall at the Astoria, and they said, as far as they were aware, nobody else had been arrested for it. Eventually they got some of the band members, who I then chatted to. Danny was very, when he saw the charge sheet, he was very angry about it. He was very angry. He said they can't fucking do that. He was very angry. And I was very grateful for his reaction, actually. I was very grateful for that. Oh, come on, where the hell is it? That's the one. It was just basically a cartoon I drew at the time when the court case was going on. I was just frustrated over the way that I felt my human rights had been violated. And it was my way of expressing that in a cartoon, you know. What it is basically a policeman hitting a black metal fan over the head and saying, "I do find thee guilty of blasphemy of the most profane nature, let thy sacred and holy function administer God's religious correction and rejoice in the mercy and forgiveness of the Lord." And he's stamping all over the grave of in loving memory of freedom of speech and religious choice. There are other graves here as well. There's one RIP, civil liberty, lest we forget Salman Rushdie, RIP, humorous artistic integrity and self-expression. And the bottom caption is, "Jesus is not a CUNT."